3 days after Hiroshima, it happened again. Another city. Another flash. Tens of thousands gone in seconds. But here's what most people don't know. Nagasaki was never supposed to be the target. A single decision, and even the weather, changed history forever. By the summer of 1945, World War II had already taken tens of millions of lives. In Europe, the war was over. Nazi Germany had surrendered. But in the Pacific, Japan refused to give up. Battles like Iwo Jima and Okinawa showed how brutal an invasion of Japan would be. American planners estimated that invading Japan could cost over 1 million Allied casualties and millions more Japanese lives. But the United States had something new. A weapon developed in secret under the Manhattan Project. A weapon capable of ending the war instantly. On July 16, 1945, that weapon was tested for the first time. It worked. On August 6, 1945, the first atomic bomb destroyed Hiroshima. Around 70,000 to 80,000 people died instantly. More would die in the weeks that followed from burns, injuries, and radiation. U.S. President Harry S. Truman warned Japan to surrender or face total destruction. But inside Japan's leadership, there was no agreement. Some wanted peace. Others wanted to keep fighting to the very end. Even after Hiroshima, no surrender came. Then, on August 8, the Soviet Union declared war on Japan and invaded Manchuria. Japan was now under pressure from all sides. Still, the war continued. The United States prepared a second atomic bomb. It was called Fat Man. More powerful than the one used on Hiroshima. Instead of uranium, it used plutonium and a complex implosion system. Its explosive force was about 21 kilotons, tens of thousands of tons of TNT. The mission began before dawn on August 9, 1945. A B-29 bomber called Boxcar, commanded by Major Charles Sweeney, took off from Tinian Island. The primary target was not Nagasaki. It was a city called Kokura, an important military and industrial center. Nagasaki was only the backup. If everything went as planned, Nagasaki would never be bombed. When the bomber reached Kokura, the plan began to fall apart. Clouds and smoke covered the city. The crew could not see their target. They made 3 attempts. Each time, visibility failed. Fuel was running dangerously low due to a mechanical issue. The crew faced a critical decision. Return without dropping the bomb, or move to the secondary target. They turned toward Nagasaki. A decision made in minutes, that would define history forever. Nagasaki was not just another city. For centuries, it had been Japan's gateway to the outside world. It was one of the few places where foreign trade existed during Japan's long isolation. It also had one of the largest Christian communities in Japan. The Urakama district was home to generations of hidden Christians who had survived persecution for over 250 years. By 1945, the city had a population of nearly 250,000 people. It was an industrial center, with shipyards and weapons factories. But it was also filled with ordinary people, families, children, workers, and even forced laborers from Korea and China. None of them knew what was coming. At around 11 a.m. the bomber reached Nagasaki. Clouds still covered much of the city. Then, suddenly, a small opening appeared. Just seconds of clear visibility. It was enough. The bomb was released. At 11:02 a.m. it detonated about 500 meters above the ground. In a fraction of a second, everything changed. The temperature at the center reached nearly 4,000 degrees Celsius. Hotter than the surface of the sun. A massive shock wave tore through the city. Buildings collapsed instantly. Wooden structures vanished. Glass shattered miles away. Nearly 44% of the city was destroyed. Around 40,000 people died instantly. By the end of 1945, over 70,000 were dead. Even the massive Hiroshima Cathedral, one of the largest churches in Asia, was completely destroyed. Those who survived faced a different kind of horror. Radiation. A silent, invisible killer. People who appeared unharmed began to fall sick. Hair fell out. Gums bled. Bodies weakened. Many died days or weeks later. Survivors became known as Hibakusha explosion-affected people. One survivor, Sumitomo Taniguchi, was just 16 years old when the blast threw him from his bicycle. His back was severely burned. He survived but spent years recovering. For decades, survivors faced discrimination. Many hid their identity out of fear. They lived not only with physical pain, but with the emotional weight of survival. The second bomb changed everything. Combined with the Soviet Union entering the war, Japan could no longer continue. On August 15, 1945, the emperor addressed the nation for the first time. Japan surrendered. Weeks later, the surrender was formally signed. World War II was finally over. The deadliest war in human history had ended. Nagasaki became the second and last city ever destroyed by an atomic bomb in war. Not because the world lost the ability to use such weapons, but because it understood what they could do. Today, nuclear weapons are far more powerful. And they still exist. Nagasaki is not just history. It is a warning. Because sometimes, history is not shaped by plans, but by a single decision. And a break in the clouds. If you want more powerful world history stories like this, subscribe now, because history isn't just the past, it's a warning for the future.